Hi, my name's Krystle. I'm 30 years old. I'm from Melbourne. I've just recently had surgery at Phuket International Hospital where I was seen by Dr. Sangwin. My procedure there was round implants and on my right side I also had a donut lift. My stats were left hand side 275 cc's and my right hand side 300 cc's with the donut lift. And I'm 11 days post-op. I decided to undergo breast surgery because all my life I've had quite uneven breasts, and I thought I'm 30, what better time to do it than now and try and enjoy it for quite a few years before I have kids and just be happy with myself. I've recently lost about 12 kilos as well, which obviously changed my breasts quite a lot, and there was just no fullness, so I thought I'd bite the bullet and do it and buy myself a 30th birthday present. So we arrived 2 days before surgery. We deliberately did this so that I could do all the things that I wouldn't be able to do post-surgery, such as swimming, going to the beach, paddle boarding, all the adventurous stuff that I know that you can't do post-surgery. So my initial consultation with CosMediTours, the process started by me contacting them via email. I had 1,000 questions to ask them. They asked me to take some photos of myself and send them in so that they could send them on to a few surgeons throughout the hospitals that they use. Unfortunately, a few surgeons actually denied my case. They didn't think that they would be able to give me the best results or the results that I was hoping for. And that's when we started to look into Phuket, where Dr. Sangwin, who is the head of plastic surgery, decided to take on my case. So I believe CosMediTours passed on my photos to him, and then he replied back with quite a detailed description as to what he had recommended for me. What he had recommended was actually different to what I ended up with, which is totally fine. I guess when you're having a face-to-face consultation, it's always going to be a bit different than going by the photos. So he initially recommended to me to have a donut lift on both sides, which is actually a nipple lift, as well as teardrop implants. And then when I got in there, I changed to the round implants and I only needed the lift on one side. Leading up to my surgery, I was quite nervous. After I had accepted Dr. Sangwin's recommendation and paid my deposit, that's when it sort of became quite real. Whenever anyone asked me about it, I would almost tear up and start to cry and just really get nervous about the whole thing. But once I got here, I just knew that I was making the right decision. I mean, I think it's normal to have doubts and question, am I actually going to like my new breasts? Am I going to miss my old breasts? But yeah, definitely have made the right decision. So my recovery has been remarkable. I am so surprised with how well I am feeling. I was in a little bit of pain, but not as much as I prepared myself for. I think because I worked myself up to thinking that I was going to be bedridden and disabled and not being able to do anything at all, almost helped my recovery and made me surprised at how well I recovered. When I first woke up from the surgery, I just felt really tight across my chest. I tried to get up as soon as I could and was doing laps around my hospital room with my IV and my drains in and just tried to get my blood moving and going. And then it just felt like I'd done a massive chest workout at the gym. I know it's not like that for everybody, but it was a really, really nice surprise. We were able to enjoy our holiday from about day 2. My main reason for travelling to Phuket was obviously the cost. It is quite a lot less than it is in Australia. But at the same time, I thought what better place to be able to recover than paradise. So I knew I wouldn't be forced to go back to work early if I was feeling well. And I also knew that the surgeons are, top in the world. So that really put my mind at ease. Dealing with CosMediTours has been amazing. Obviously, when you start looking on the internet about getting surgery overseas, there are so many options. So many blogs and people's opinions and information about hospitals. It can get really, really overwhelming. I could have certainly contacted the hospitals directly, but at the same time, in those hospitals, there are surgeons who CosMediTours don't work with. So by going through CosMediTours, they were able to facilitate the best surgeon for me that gave me the best outcome, and they were able to answer all of my questions. I mean, sometimes I would call Emily and Krystle at CosMediTours about 3 times a day with, another quick question and another quick question, and they would always answer it, no problems. When I first arrived at Phuket International Hospital and I was in the PIAC Centre, Arawan was there. She made me feel comfortable. She came over and introduced herself, asked me if I was okay, held my hand, introduced herself to my husband, and basically was, I think, more reassuring for him knowing that she was there in the hospital and he could contact her at any time during my surgery. When I was administered and shown to my room, she came in, made sure I was okay, gave me a big hug and a kiss, and just made me feel like my mum was there, which was really nice. And I know for Dean, my husband, it made a difference for him as well. So I decided to go with CosMediTours. I found them through Google. They were one of the first companies that came up, so I decided to go with them after they were so helpful with all of my initial inquiries. And they didn't just brush me off by saying, just send us your photos and we'll see what we can do. They really took care of me and answered all of my questions that I had at the start. So the day after surgery, the nurses and my surgeon came into the hospital room. They took out my drains, which isn't painful, so don't be scared about that. And then they put some waterproof bandages on me and they put me into a post-op bra, which is really just a bra with no underwire. And they sent me on my way, and then about 5 days later I had a follow-up appointment where I went back in and they removed the stitches, which again didn't hurt, and then just put some waterproof bandages back on. So upon being discharged from the hospital, I was just told obviously no swimming in the beach or in the pool, and just to really take it easy and not overdo it. So the best advice I was given before surgery was to ask 1,000 questions to my surgeon face to face. So what I actually did was write a list of questions and asked him, for example, about the teardrop implants, would it give me the look that I desired, about the sizes. A lot of girls say to go bigger, but I actually went a tiny bit smaller than my surgeon recommended at first. But I'm happy with the way that they're settling. So have a lot of pictures of boobs on your phone, screenshot them and ask your surgeon if you can get that desired look and what implants and procedure he would recommend so that you can get that desired look. So my number one tip for anyone considering surgery in Thailand would be to try and add on a few days at the start so that you can have a holiday, so that you can relax, so you can get a massage lying down, because obviously once you get these additions you will not be able to lie flat. But apart from that, enjoy the experience, be empowered from it and really own it.